Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now April 26th of 2022, and we're only getting closer to the actual release of the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV series on May 27th. In fact, we have a lot of things on the way, such as new promo images, new Star Wars footage of the Kenobi series that's just on the horizon from a couple of days from now. We also have a new trailer that's all set and ready to debut by Disney and Lucasfilm to further market the TV show. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, we are currently in a very exciting time for the Star Wars universe because a lot of things are happening at once. We got the Kenobi series coming out in just a short number of weeks. We have, of course, the Ahsoka Tano TV show that is going to start filming in about 2 to 3 days. There's a lot of things happening with that TV show between Rosario Dawson and Hayden Christensen coming back as both Ahsoka and Anakin Skywalker, so that's another thing to look forward to because a lot of sets are being built as we speak for the Ahsoka Tano series, some of which are already completed for some of the other sequences that they are going to begin filming by, of course, this month into early May, give or take. So there's a lot of things happening between John, George, and Dave. They are getting more and more involved with all these new Star Wars projects that are also on the horizon that will be unveiled at both Celebration this year and next year, as well as holiday season of this year, 2022. It's going to be a big deal. There's a lot of things coming our way. The thing about all of this is that the Kenobi TV series is going to be by far, without a doubt, the most anticipated show of 2022. There's no denying this. I think it's more anticipated than The Mandalorian Season 3 and Andor put together easily because of how embedded it really is with the prequel trilogy lore and the story. So, on top of all of this, alright, with both Disney and Lucasfilm now focused on their new Star Wars universe, such as with their new TV shows and movies, creators Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are actively developing the Ahsoka Tano TV show that is set to debut in spring of 2023. However, it's noted that Disney CEO Bob Chapek made some big changes to the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show by recently making it happen to make the series into a multi-season show for fans that will run at least 3 seasons long on Disney Plus as opposed to 1. Now, Chapek is described to have big plans for the story of Obi-Wan between himself, Darth Vader, and other beloved characters from the prequel trilogy movies. One of the other big stories that are set to be told is the continuation of the Kenobi TV series is actually set to include Darth Maul into the storyline, and how his story will indeed overlap Kenobi's in his own series. Now, this is a big plan that was recently implemented by Chapek, and that Disney has already been in the talks with actor Sam Witwer to do the role of Darth Maul again in the Kenobi show. Now, though many, of course, have experienced Darth Maul in the prequels, they have wanted to see him return into live-action form once more. And Darth Maul was, of course, thought to be an original story element for Kenobi Season 1. This was never the case, as Deborah Chow debunked that and describes that, of course, as never really happening. With both Favreau and Filoni, of course, now involved heavily on the continuation of the Kenobi series that will be announced by this fall, Disney actually plans to shoot the last 2 seasons back-to-back sometime starting in 2023. Now, let me just stop right here for 1 second. The fact that they are going to be shooting the series back-to-back in 2023, alright, next year, shooting 2 seasons pretty much together is a big deal to conclude the show before they move on to the planned spin-off series of the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV series. So in case you guys did not know, Disney also has that planned. They want to create spin-off shows from the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. This is very likely to, involve some of the beloved villains that will be placed in there, like the Inquisitors, for example. It's very possible it could be something around those lines. It could be very well something to do with some of the other villains being thrown in there. Now, when you look at it in this sense, there's a lot of things happening with the Kenobi series when it comes to what Chapek views the series as. He views this as basically a direct sequel to Revenge of the Sith, and that's exactly how it's being treated. And let's just cross our fingers that it lives up to the fans' expectations as far as how the show is going to be executed. I know it has everything that the fans love within it, but how it's going to be executed is everything, alright? Yes, it may have Darth Vader. Yes, it may have the Inquisitors. Yes, it does have, Owen Lars. But, at the end of the day, alright, it has to be executed very well to make it enjoyable. So, moving on from that, alright, of course the plan by Lucasfilm is to find satisfying ways of bringing back Darth Maul into the Kenobi storyline in a very realistic sense by showing fans his rise within the criminal underworld and the syndicate known as Crimson Dawn to be featured in the Kenobi show. Now this is described to also feature characters like Mace Windu that is set to return as well, as we discussed just yesterday. In the continued show, the plan by Lucasfilm with the Kenobi series is for Kenobi to face a new foe within each new season, with the past foe having less involved sequences as well. Now already Disney is making it clear to Lucasfilm that Vader will not be the main focus in Season 2, but rather Darth Maul and other foes that will have something unexpected to do with Kenobi himself. So that makes a lot more sense, right? Because they want to have the whole Vader and Kenobi duel end on a very specific note in Season 1, and kind of how that embeds itself into the New Hope movie. So moving from that, of course, Disney wants to make sure that they're going to treat Vader sparingly with the last 2 seasons of the Kenobi show. So, on top of that, this is said to be Chapek's way to make his legacy more involved within Star Wars and to make the fans happy at the end of the day. Ewan McGregor has already been in the talks with Bob Chapek, Deborah Chow, and even Favreau and Filoni about the continuation of the Kenobi series. Now, they are planning to announce this right around when Mando Season 3 debuts on Disney+, so that they can properly market the expansion of Kenobi's story. So that's another thing to be aware of, is that there's a lot of things happening at the same exact time for Disney right now, and they're really focusing on expanding the Kenobi TV show to become 3 seasons long, strictly, making it into a beginning, middle, and end story in and of itself. That, I believe, it's very smart for them to do. It's going to show you exactly what Kenobi's life is like in that actual time period. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to be the end of Ewan McGregor's involvement in the universe after Season 3 of Kenobi. They are planning to have him involved in the spin-off shows and other Star Wars TV shows that will be announced at, of course, next year's Star Wars Celebration as well. So obviously, they are trying to expand as many different avenues as possible. You got The Mandalorian, that was one avenue that is now getting expanded into tons of different shows like Ahsoka and more. And Kenobi is another prime example of how that's going to also expand to, of course, Star Wars Andor, Star Wars Underworld, and all of those shows that take place in between episodes 3 and 4. So that's going to be a little universe, or a little mini-verse, if you will, in and on itself. They want to make sure that they can create different eras and expand those eras properly. And I believe that's a very smart thing that Disney's doing, and hopefully it is executed well, because like I said before, that's everything, and that's all that really matters at the end of the day. You can have all the fan favorite characters all you want, but it all depends on the execution of how it's done. And that really is going to be a big deal, and it can be a deal breaker if not done correctly. So let me know what you guys have to say about all of this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. From night to moon.